Hey y'all, you've been rocking with me for a while. Thank you so much. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Latasha and I empower single moms to relocate successfully, start online businesses, and increase their finances. So we're going to get right into this video. Today, I want to talk about a couple of things I wish I would have done before relocating. I relocated from Alabama to Austin, Texas, and then to Dallas, Texas, which I am currently here in Dallas. I relocated 8 years ago with my then 8-year-old son, who is now 15 years old. I stepped out on faith. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any money. I loaded everything I could in my car, and I left because I just wanted a better life for me and my son. And if you watching this video, then most likely you're a single mom, and it's on your heart or your mind to relocate, which is what brought you here to this video. My goal at the end of this video is that you have a little bit of clarity on which route you want to take when you relocate, and to not make some of the same mistakes I made, so that your journey will be a little bit smoother than mine. Okay, so the first thing I wish I would have done before relocating is I wish I would have had an emergency fund, right? Because when I relocated, my credit was not good. I didn't have money. I did all types of side hustles. I DoorDashed, I did hair, I did nails. I sold everything in my apartment. And then I packed everything else into my Ford Focus that I had at the time. And I drove 10 hours away, right? I didn't have any money saved up. The only money I had was the money to get into my new apartment. My deposit, my first month's rent. I had already had the utilities and all of those things turned on. I had enough money that, to get me through until I got my next paycheck. So at that time, I was working from home. The only money I had when I relocated was enough money to move me into my place, and then enough money to get me through the next 2 weeks, or so I thought. When we moved, we didn't have any furniture. I started completely over. I got groceries. I got air mattresses so that we could sleep. I got some necessities, like some cleaning necessities, things of that nature so that we could live. But y'all, tell me why, like a week after I moved here, my card got hacked. So I'm not sure what happened. All I know is I had maybe about $100 and something on my card. I get a notification saying that you spent $100 and whatever I had at Ross all the way. I can't even remember, but it was somewhere like in Michigan or Chicago. I can't remember. But someone swiped my card, took all my money off my card a week after I got here. So thankfully, we still had groceries. I was DoorDashing part-time, to try to make ends meet. But that was hard because I didn't know my way around the city. So it was kind of hard to make money DoorDashing in a strange place, right? So I ended up having to borrow money from a family member until my next payday. I wish I would have saved a little bit more before I moved, because it was really tough. Like, it was really hard. Like, penny pinching, not having any money, having to wait until you get paid, which is not for 2 weeks. Y'all know, as single moms, y'all know that's stressful. Like, most of us, that's a constant battle. We're living paycheck to paycheck and we're not getting paid every 2 weeks. And we were not made to live in that way. I feel like God has given each of us a creative purpose, a creative mind. I feel like God has given us all a purpose so that we can get up and get out and make things happen to where we're not solely dependent on one source of income. And that was me. I was dependent on one source of income. But think about it. If something were to happen to you today, if you had an emergency like I did, that was an emergency. Someone hacked onto my card and took my last $100 and something that I had. So God forbid, if you had that happen to you today, what would you do? Like, how would you get by? Would you have to borrow money like I did from a family member? If I would have done then what I know now, I would be a whole lot further along, y'all. A whole lot further along. But we live and we learn, right? The second thing I wish I would have done before I relocated is worked on my credit a little bit more. So when I relocated in 2018, my credit score was in the mid 500s. I got denied for one apartment because my rental history. Like, even before I left, I was always late on rent. So I got denied when I applied for an apartment here in Texas. So then I found an apartment locator. So the apartment locator, they helped me locate a second chance spot. So the second chance apartment that I was approved for, I had to pay 1 month deposit as the rent. So the rent was $1,700, I want to say. So I had to pay a $1,700 deposit on top of my first month's rent. And I think about it all the time because we wasn't even in that apartment for 2 months. We were in that apartment for 2 months and I was in over my head. I couldn't afford it. Like, I was trying to live above my means. It was a nice apartment. It was in a nice neighborhood. I think I was rushing, and I think that I knew that it was going to be hard for me to find a place. So as soon as that apartment locator was like, hey, I got you a place. All you got to do is pay 2 times the rent. I made it happen, right? I was doing all kind of side hustles. I was working. And I came up with the money. I sold all my furniture and I came up with the money. But it was a waste of money because, as stated, I was living above my means and I had to move in order not to get evicted. So even though I didn't have good credit, I still did not want an eviction on my credit. A broken lease, that's not good either, but a broken lease, you can get your credit repaired and have that removed. An eviction, that's court order, that's public records. You can have that removed too, but it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a lot harder than having a broken lease on your credit. I moved right before they took me to court. And that was a waste of money. Like, it was a waste of money. It was a waste of time. And it really set me back. So we ended up finding another spot through an apartment locator. It was a 5th chance apartment. It was so raggedy. But it was home. I sat my behind down. Nobody messed with me. Like, it was like a Spanish community. I think it was like, maybe, from what I saw, it was maybe like 4 other black families in the community. But nobody messed with me. Like, everybody was to themselves. And I made that home. I sat in that apartment. I learned credit. I learned, online businesses. I learned things that I could do. I wrote a book in that apartment. Y'all, it was rats in that apartment, but I had a cat. So I made it work. I made it work. I just stopped caring what people thought, and I stopped trying to live above my means, and I made it work. So to sum it up, I wish I would have worked on my credit a little bit more to get in a nicer, more affordable place. And then I would not have been going backwards and spending unnecessary money when I could have been using that money for something else, to grow. I could have been investing that money as opposed to throwing that money away. So the third thing I wish I would have done, and before I get into it, I want to let y'all know about the Facebook community that I created for single moms just like you and me. Single Mom Success, Relocate, Thrive, and Work Online. I put the group together so that we could come together as a community of single moms who have relocated or who want to relocate, so we can give tips and advice on relocating, share our stories, and also help each other thrive financially so that we can relocate and relocate successfully. If you've ever thought about having an online business, then that community is for boss single moms who want to build an online business so that they can work from anywhere. So a job and childcare will not be an issue. Okay, so number 3. The third thing I wish I would have done before relocating is start an online business. There's so many opportunities out here, ladies. Like, we live in a social media era. I don't think we should sit on social media all day scrolling without investing in ourselves, without getting any information. While we sitting on social media watching other people make money, while we are living paycheck to paycheck, while we are working 1 and 2 jobs night and day just trying to survive, while other people are online making millions, but yet we are too scared to get online and put ourselves out there so that we can build something for us and our children and our families. Why? Back in 2018, social media was popular, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. I think that as the years go on, I think social media expands. So there wasn't as many opportunities then as it is now. So I wish I would have sat down and built an online business and been consistent at it, which I did. I told y'all my credit story when I came here, and I thought about all the money I wasted. I thought about the things I could not do. I thought about how I was limited at where I could stay, where I could live. I had to learn about credit. I'm like, okay, when I moved here, I was 31, 32. I just had a birthday yesterday, y'all. It's February 23rd. February 23rd today. It's February 24th. So happy belated birthday to me. Your girl is 39 years old. Thank the Lord. But I was in my early 30s and I could not believe that I did not know about credit. So that was one of the first online businesses that I started. It was credit repair. But being a single mom and then just relocating, I found it hard to be consistent with that online business, with doing credit repair. I had clients here and there, but I was not marketing and being consistent as I should have to see the fruit of my labor. Do y'all ever think about one thing you started and where you would be today if you would have been consistent and persistent in that thing and not have given up on it? I don't want to live a life like that. But I find myself living a life like that because most things that I started when I came here, I wasn't consistent at it. And I wish I would have started an online business before I came here, because I lost plenty of times with my son. When he came here, he played basketball, and I could not go to any of his first year games because I was stuck at a desk trying to make ends meet for both of us. So it took precious time away from him and something that he had just started doing. We have no family here, so he had no one there rooting for him, supporting him, because I was stuck at a desk job because I wasn't using my gifts and talents that God has given me. As a single mom, we have so many dreams, so many goals. And I know if you clicked on this video, then relocating is probably one of your dreams or your goals. But I also know that we have a lot of things that stand in our way. Like, we have a lot of obstacles that prevent us from our new beginnings. But I'm a living testimony, and that's why sometimes I feel selfish because I have not been as consistent with doing what God has called me to do. Every time I try to do something different, I'm full circle back to this. So I know that God has called me to empower other single moms with my story. I'm a single mom. I've been a single mom since my son was 2 years old. His dad died or was killed when he was 2 years old. My son is 15 years old now. I've been in a relationship here and there, but we gonna talk about that on a different video. But for the most part, I've been a single mom for his entire life. It's just been me and him, literally. Especially since we moved to Texas. It's just been me and him. No family. But guess what? In the beginning, it was hard. But now it's getting easier because I see bigger for myself. I now have money saved to where I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. When I first moved here, one thing I wish I would have done was save more money. But now I have money saved and have not been living paycheck to paycheck for the last year. My credit is good. It's not an 850 yet, but your girl in the 700 club, your girl was able to move to a real nice spot, a spot that I wanted to move in. Your girl was able to buy one of her dream cars, a Benz, and I never thought I would have been driving a Benz. Your girl has her online business, and that business has sustained me to be able to do the things that I told you that I was able to do. Buy one of my dream cars, fix my credit, have a savings. And that business was the start of all of that, because the job ain't doing it. I got fired. Yep, I got fired from my job last month. And thankfully, I had a savings. Thankfully, I had my online business. So now I'm working my online business, and I picked up a part-time job just to kind of sustain me so that I could keep my savings for those slow days. And that's what I'm telling you. So if you're thinking about relocating today, don't let anything deter you. Take my advice and don't be hasty. Like, I understand we relocate for different reasons. The biggest reason is a better life for us and our kids, to find new surroundings, to find better opportunities. I get that. But a lot of times, credit holds us back because we can't find anywhere to stay in that new city. Money holds us back. We don't have the funds to relocate. Childcare holds us back because we can get the job, but what about the childcare? Who's going to pick the kids up from school? Who's going to take the kids to their after school activities? Being a single mom is no joke. It's not an easy task. So I want to encourage you that if you're thinking about relocating and you can hold off, set a goal. Set a goal as to how long you want to work on your credit. Work on your credit for 6 months. Start an online business for 6 months. Start saving for 6 months. If you put $10 up a week, $20 up every 2 weeks when you get paid. You have to start small, but the goal is you have to start in order to get there. And another thing I want to encourage you is to not focus on the big picture. I want you to take it one step at a time. So in addition to the Facebook group, I dropped some resources in the description box. If you're wondering what my online business is, I have a credit and money business where it's how I was able to fix my credit. It's how I was able to make the money to fix my credit. Just by offering other families, specifically single moms, financial solutions. If you want more information on that, check the description box. We have an opportunity call where we can give you all the information every single Monday. Training is provided. I love y'all, and I hope this video helped. I hope that you can take these tips and this advice, and your journey is a little different from mine, so that your journey can be a little smoother than mine as far as financially, mentally, and also spiritually. Comment and let me know that you watched to the end, and let me know you're still here, and I'll see y'all on my next video.